Hello everybody, welcome to Rewrite Your Reality with Reese. I'm your host and thank you so much for joining me today. If you do like my content, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. If you do have any questions, please feel free to always drop them in the comment section or reach out with an email. I would love to hear from you. And now for today's video, manifest what you want. My reality, my rules. Your reality, your rules, right? Why? You are reality. You see, there's a few things that resolve itself when you understand this. You are reality. Because there was a question about how do I put something into my reality? How do I put something into my reality? See, the question itself shows that you need to, and this is the only step you need, right? Need to recognize yourself as to who you are. You can go about manifesting and talking about manifesting all you like, all you want, but without the recognition of who you are, it's not going to make sense. Here's an example, right? I'm just going to veer off what I said right now. I like doing that because it's fresh again. Let's say you have no money and you want to go to a restaurant and you want to buy something and eat it. You can imagine doing that. You can also physically experience going to the restaurant and not having money to pay. This is a reality experience. Mostly the reality experience will be you'll be turned away, or you'll just leave on your own, or you'll buy something and you won't be able to pay for it. And you ask, well, how can I manifest putting money into my reality so I can buy something to eat? You see, the you that can't pay for that is showing you the you that can pay for it. Which is not to say recognize the version of you that has money that you need to put into your reality as you. What's really going on? You, the one that has the money to pay for the reality experience, to pay for the food as a reality experience, is the one that knows your reality. That's the one that has it. That's the one that can be aware of it. The physical unfolding is the acceptance of who you are. The moment you accept who you are, that is what starts to unfold, your physical experience of who you say you are. And no, I don't have a timeline for any kind of thing that can happen in your physical reality. The only timeline that matters is when and how or you decide I am reality and stick with that decision. That's it. So accepting this, and the reason you can actually accept this idea is because reality, you can literally imagine exactly what I'm about to unpack and decide to accept it or not. Basically, because you can imagine and understand what I'm about to say is the reason you can accept it. Basically, I'm going to explain why you are reality, and that's why you can accept it, because you can imagine yourself in some version, some variation of understanding yourself as reality. You see, the paradox of understanding something is you can only understand it if you were actually that. You were actually the thing that I am referring to. Ironic, right? If you couldn't contemplate what I am going to explain, it wouldn't be true and wouldn't even be able to be understood as a notion in the first place. I wouldn't be able to contemplate it. But because we can contemplate ourselves as reality, because reality is infinite, the paradox that exists, because reality is infinite, it can and does have every interpretation of I am reality as infinity. It needs only your willingness to actually accept I am reality, wanting to know myself as reality. That possibility that you can perpetually experience in any moment you decide to remember it. Really understand this, right? You can understand what I am saying in your way. The only way you can understand what I am saying in your way is for you to already have that understanding in your way already. I'm merely pointing you to it. And everyone's understanding of themselves as reality, while it is the same understanding, it is interpreted differently because each of us is our own specialized viewpoint of reality. We are always going to understand and express it differently. That's the point. You are literally imagining yourself in the recognition that you are imagining itself. Imagining. You are imagination itself imagining. You are your higher self, reality being reality, observing itself. Because you can do that because of the same reason. You can do it. Because you can do that, because you can imagine yourself as reality, and you can do that because you are because you are reality. It's such a tongue twister. Because you can do that, and you can do that because of the same reason. You are reality. You can do this understanding of imagination, and you can imagine the understanding of imagination because literally it's the same reason. It's you as reality creating an understandable experience of you as reality. It is you as reality creating an understandable experience of you as reality. And Neville has parallels here, which is basically imagination creates and is reality, what you call recognition of yourself as reality. Neville frames as realizing that consciousness itself is the only creative power. You are that consciousness, you are that cause, you are that power. Awareness and imagination. So starting with awareness, as always, I am the I amness of everything. As awareness for a moment, or even as the 3D small self, which likes to whine and complain or say something or other. We all do that, right? It doesn't quite matter. Focus on imagining. Focus on the very idea of imagining. Not imagine something in particular. Just focus on the very idea, I can imagine anything. With the intention, I want to understand my own imagination here. See, when you imagine, you are becoming aware of what you have decided to know. That's it. Simple, right? Whatever you decide to know yourself, you immediately start to flow it. Apple, right? The knowing of an apple pops up immediately with thoughts, images, sounds, taste, maybe just the idea of an apple to you, and an immediate flood of apple ideas. Mine were actually, when I was creating this, was Newton, the apple falling, Robin Hood shooting an arrow into an apple, and then this Apple people, fans, that like the Apple products. Basically all of that from deciding to contemplate an idea, a single idea, with the intention of creating this flowing topic, right? So all of those ideas were mine. You have your own ones. Which is why when you decide to contemplate how, endless how, questions, ideas, thoughts, and more flow. It's just endlessly happening. Because you have no intention. Your intention is to how can this happen, but your intention is set on being how. So you continuously express how. Right? Because whatsoever you decide to contemplate, you have no choice but to contemplate as infinity. That is why it keeps going. The stuck idea exists infinitely, which is why it feels, hey, I'm stuck. But it's not that. It's an endless movie of a similar moment of stuck, endlessly, over and over and over. The Neville parallel here. Whatever you assume to be true perpetuates, continues, just carries on going. Whee! Not because it's stuck, because consciousness just sustains that pattern over and over again. It's what you are. It's what you as consciousness are identifying with. The loop breaks when you just assume something else. Everything imagined is you. Now, notice what is not you in imagination. Notice what you cannot be aware of in your imagination. Nothing. It's all imagination. It's literally all you. And you have anchored your own viewpoint, wherever that is, your point of knowing, in a singular filtered viewpoint to contemplate something completely. Even if you were to think of a box, right? If you were to think of a box, you imagine it from one side knowing the other side exists. You just know that. Because you're the one that created. Your knowing is the creation of it. Here's the thing. You can imagine that same box without the back. And you know it's not there. You just know. Why? Because your knowing is it. Your knowing is it happening instantly, seeing the other side if you choose to or not. It's instantaneously there. It's one and one. There's no lag. That's why there's no lag differential. There's no time, there's no gap, there's nothing. It's one coherent, indistinguishable. It's one coherent, It's one coherent, indistinguishable, I said wrong, movement from one side to another, to the other, right? In recognition that this is me as I am, because it's all me, it's all who and what I am, because I am anything I contemplate. Being all of this, to see it more clearly in the vantage point, I am currently being a source. So whatever you're imagining, it's you. Yes, you create the idea that it's physically separated from you. Otherwise, how would you be able to actually walk around and experience yourself? This 2D, 3D translation of a 4D experience as a 5D being, whatever, right? Knowing that's fun. Don't get me wrong, right? It's all fun on paper. I like contemplating all of that myself, right? It's just fun. But ideally, it's just source, right? It doesn't matter. Do you care how many cables are plugged into your TV at the back? No, you just want to watch the thing, right? Neville's parallel here is the anchored viewpoint mirrors what he called the state of consciousness, what I was explaining there. Each state fully contains its world, but the awareness, the real I, is beyond any single view. It's the viewness of everything, the viewness of knowing I can embody any point here and view the thing. And really think about the box idea, right? Because I shot that in while I was talking about it now. Imagine the box. Imagine the box knowing that it is full. Then imagine the box knowing it has no back, that it's just there. It's your knowing what you are seeing. Your knowing is literally what you are seeing right then and there. So when you're knowing how, it's endless. So no I am, that's endless too. You don't put things into reality, which was one of the questions that the YouTube comment had earlier. So as imagination, as remembering, as awareness, the 3D is exactly the same, but it is automatically output like water from a tap. You don't have to get the water. You just open it expecting what you want to be flowing out, because the want was set intentionally, choosing what comes out. Not by going to get it, not by putting it into your reality. I know the metaphors I use, well, but I can open my tap and there's water. Not all the time. Really understand that when you are imagining, that is already outflowing into your 3D physical experience automatically. It's the who that's outflowing automatically. You don't have to go and shove your hand up the tap and pull more hot water out, right? Just let it flow. It's already going to flow. It's already flowing. What's flowing is you. Putting it into your reality is actually impossible. Watch, right? Watch this idea. We're going to play with your imagination again. Imagine your room or any room, and then imagine putting something in there. What you are not doing is physically putting something from somewhere else into your imagination. It looks like that. It looks like you flew an apple into the room, or you materialized it, or someone walked into the room and gave it to you. But recognize in that knowing, these are all just existing frames of reality. It just exists like that. If you were to follow the apple from where it came, you're basically just imagining more. You're imagining that it popped in. You're imagining that it materialized. You're imagining it came from somewhere else. You're imagining putting it. Those are all just frames. Becoming more aware of more of you that can string or be strung together, trying to find the source of where this apple came from in your imagination. It came from you knowing it into it. Because ultimately the source is your own knowing that it just exists this way. You are the source. Neville here, the outer world doesn't cause. Even if it looks like something happened and something else happened, cause and effect, it looks like that. Because it's an expression of cause, of what you believe cause to be, and it's another expression of effect. So the cause that you see in 3D came from you as awareness, which was the cause. Even the effect came from you as awareness as the cause. So the cause in the 3D wasn't the cause of the effect in the 3D. Both were caused by cause as you. Tongue twister, but it's a fun one, right? Not really tongue twister, but it's fun anyway. The world is yourself pushed out. Everyone is you pushed out. There's no putting. You can't put anything into reality. Where did it come from? Contemplate that. Say, no, it came from there. That's still you imagining. That's still imagination. You're creating a scene. That's another scene. Only recognition that what you accept inwardly already is there. And you know that. Otherwise, you couldn't imagine it. Infinite possibilities, right? My Father's house. This is the whole point. Has many mansions. Scripture, John 14:2, right? It means no matter what you want as reality, as an experience of reality, it already exists that way. There's literally not a single thing that you can possibly contemplate that does not exist. If it didn't exist, you wouldn't be able to contemplate it whatsoever. It's not the same thing of how it can happen. It's not the same thing of if it can happen. It's not the same thing of, I don't feel good imagining this. It's not the same thing. You wouldn't even be able to contemplate non-existence. You can contemplate the idea of something being unaware to you. That is a imaginational scene where you are searching for something you didn't create to find. So you are actively creating non-creation as an experience to endlessly look. Because you couldn't put or take out anything either. Imagine, keep playing with your own imagination. It's yours. The apple, the box, try and chuck it out of your imagination. Where's it gone? Right? This whole thing of let go, let go, let go. Let go of to where? It doesn't go anywhere. It's just you. Let go of believing you need to stay there. Let go of believing you need to continuously focus on this thing. Let go of believing you need to do something other than imagine what you would like and express it and be it. It just exists like that, which is why you can even contemplate it. The act of putting or removing is just another scene entirely that's endlessly there. Everything is endlessly there. Reality is infinite. Reality is endless, and you are it. Where the feeling isn't the image, but the idea of what I want isn't there, how do I put it there? That's just another scene. So go to the knowing that what you desire is already there as reality, and imagine it as if it is happening right then and there, always and forever, because it is. Then drop it to your higher self, surrender it upwards. I always find those terminologies quite funny. Drop it to your higher self or surrender it upward. Always makes me laugh. But whatever, right? Nothing for me to do but allow that to unfold from within me. Neville, lastly, you must assume that feeling of the wish fulfilled and persist in that assumption. Not persisting with grated teeth and fingernails on desks pulling, right? Fascinating imagery I decided to throw in there. But surrender to the knowing and resting in that, hey, what I've imagined, what I've chosen as my reality, as the only authority of my reality, is mine. That's it. Faith is knowing what you are knowing is there already, because you are already it. Because creation is finished and it's done. And I am your host, Rees. Thank you all for joining so much today. This is Reaction Reality with Rees. Thank you all for being here. For your comments, your questions, shares, likes, subscriptions, feel free to drop a question in the comment section. Send me an email anytime. Thank you for joining the TikTok page. Thank you for joining the Facebook page. Don't forget, all the information is actually in the description box below if you want to check that out. Love and light, and I will see you all in the next one. Aye.